Goeiedag! Good day, fellow South Africans and people from all over the world. Please don't feel left out. I'm wearing my Trump hat, and there's a very good reason for that. Trump has just signed into law a genocide act, which we'll get to in a second, okay? So here's a shout out to Donald Trump. Now, what I'm going to show you is really disturbing. This is the MCG, the Melbourne Cricket Ground in Australia. It has a capacity of about 100,000 people when full, and you'll see how huge it is. It'll give you a perspective of what 100,000 people looks like. Now, why did I show you that? Well, let me explain. Quite simple. Since 1994, there have been over 70,000 white people murdered by blacks in South Africa. Now, these are reported murders. It is estimated that the actual figure is closer to 100,000. The number of people filling that huge stadium we just looked at. So, what we're actually saying here is that this is a huge genocide that's actually taking place in South Africa. A racial genocide of black against white. Now, I know that black on black murders are horrific as well, but the whites didn't buy into the African violence that's going on. They are just victims of it. And that, to me, is a genocide, just like what happened in World War II with the Jews. There's very little difference. The Jews didn't buy into the violence that they attracted. Neither have the whites here in South Africa. So this sort of violence is antagonized or increased by the rhetoric of people like Malema of the EFF and Andili of the BLF, who've talked about killing white people. Now, the interesting thing that I have to tell you, and it's a very, very important issue, and that is the fact that Malema and Andili have no understanding of what racism is. In their minds, the only people who can be racist are white people. And they talk about white monopoly privilege and things like that. I mean, they've just got all these little buzzwords that they use. Now, the reason they think that way is because they don't have much logic in those heads of theirs. I mean, that's a proven fact. Now, what they see as racist is someone who is white who's come from the apartheid era. So they associate racism with a period of history in South African history, i.e. pre-1994. They have no understanding that racism is a living attitude you have towards another race. They don't understand that. They don't get that. And that's a huge, huge concern. So what I'm saying here is that the leaders of political parties do not see themselves as racist, even if they espouse the most awful things, which they do, because they have this view that racism is a historical thing. It's not something that is current and happening right now. Let's get back to this genocide issue. We've had between 70 to 100,000 whites murdered by Africans in South Africa in the last 24 years. If that's not a case for a genocide, then I don't know what is. What I'm going to do is just leave it at that point. I just wanted to bring up this issue about these top politicians not having an understanding about what racism is. Okay, guys? Please remember to subscribe to be kept informed, and have a great day. Bye for now. Just as a postscript, I'll tell you what the new genocide law is all about. This is the one that Trump has just signed yesterday. US President Donald Trump on Monday signed into law bipartisan legislation named for the late Holocaust survivor and Nobel laureate Elie Wiesel, the White House announced in a statement. The Elie Wiesel Genocide and Atrocities Prevention Act aims to improve the US response to emerging or potential genocides and passed final votes last month in the Senate and the House of Representatives. The act ensures that the official policy of the US deems the prevention of genocide and other crimes a matter of national security interest. It establishes an interagency mass atrocities task force and encourages the Director of National Intelligence to include information on atrocities in the annual crime report to Congress. It also enables training for US Foreign Service officers on detecting early signs of atrocities. Now, clearly, South Africa is right in the headlights of this one. The legislation was introduced to Congress in June 2017 by New York Democrat Joe Crowley and Missouri Republican Ann Wagner, and in the Senate by Maryland Democrat Ben Cardin and Indiana Republican Todd Young, both members of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee. The final bill passed in the House after previously passing in the chamber on July 17 in a vote of 406 to 5, with 117 co-sponsors. The Senate approved the legislation with 34 co-sponsors. And Cardin said in a statement issued by his office, America's strength around the world is rooted in our values. It is in our national interest to ensure that the United States utilizes the full arsenal of diplomatic, economic, and legal tools to make meaningful action before atrocities occur. Tragically, these atrocities are happening today. We simply cannot wait to act. And it concludes by saying Wiesel won the Nobel Peace Prize in 1986 and died in 2016. He and his family were amongst an estimated 14,000 Jews who were deported to the Auschwitz death camp from a town in northwest Romania in May 1944. His mother and younger sister died there. So, the situation is this, that we now have an American law in place that guarantees that America will intercede if they see a genocide taking place. That's what this law is all about. It doesn't matter whether you're in Timbuktu, South Africa, or in Indonesia. America will come in and they will take control. So this is really good news, and that's why I was wearing my Trump hat earlier. Good on you, Donald. Good on you, Donald. All right, guys, look, this is really good news, because when you've got America on your side, these assholes who are making these statements publicly better be very careful. One death by murder is too many. 100,000 is just a genocide. As I said earlier, please remember to subscribe to be kept informed, and have a great day. Bye for now, guys.